accidentally levitated Professor Roman's sandwich.
Don't know why the common rooms all have secret ways of entering. Who wants to go into someone else's common room anyway? We were sorted for a reason.
I'd wager the Hufflepuff common room's the coziest of them all. Simply the fact that it's so close to the kitchens makes it seem more homely. If Weasley had seen them, they'd soon be out.
Could have started a fire. And I'm afraid I'm not natural at the freezing spell.
Yes, I've seen you cast Glacius. It's as if a snowman has the hiccups.
Thank you. I've seen your slowing charm, and the victim could outpace the Thestral.
No need to be like that. Anyway, he was only practicing with matches.
Hence the aforementioned threat of fire.
I'm sure you didn't simply transfigure a hedgehog your first try.
No. I tried, though. Made some sort of sitting pillow. At least that's what I told Weasley when she sat on it.
You'd have been had if she didn't know your mother.
Don't I know it? Received a howler from my mother the very next day. Almost took me out of school altogether. Said if I so much as looked at a hedgehog again, she'd put me to work on a flower stall in Covent Garden.
I think you do well with the little stall. I can see you now with your troves of honking daffodils.
Don't get too excited. I wouldn't be offering any special pricing. I might even charge more for you.
How very gentlemanly of you. I'm sure you'll have the girls and boys swooning.
I should be so lucky.
Handsome chap like you won't be shy of suitors. Shall you still charge me more?
No. I'd say you're in with the stall owner now.
I prefer to study in the library. It's always much too loud in the common room.
Professor, do you have a moment?
I do.
May I ask what attracted you to astronomy?
You may. Might I assume from your inquiry that you wonder how anyone may have an interest in astronomy?
Oh, not at all, Professor. I find it intriguing and wanted to know more about your work.
Ah, that is good to hear. So often those who do not fully understand all that can be gleaned from the stars question astronomy's relevance. Misperceptions frequently arise due to the confusion of astronomy with astrology, the ridiculousness of which I shall not deign to discuss. To answer your question, it was my dear sister who first sparked my interest in stargazing. The two of us spent countless nights on our rooftop staring at the cosmos. It was one of the only subjects we could study together.
I'm not sure I follow, Professor. Why was that?
My sister is a squib. Clever, hard-working, and generous, but a squib nonetheless. The only non-magical child born to our family in generations, poor thing. Although she manages exceptionally well.
It sounds as if she's a lovely person, and accomplished.
She is. And to her credit, while she was once disappointed not to attend Hogwarts, she has excelled in Muggle school. One of the first women, we suspect, to have attended Cambridge, well disguised at the time by our mother as a gentleman scholar. And as astronomy is one subject shared between the Muggle world and ours, she and I have been able to maintain that common interest. We still sneak up to a rooftop now and then to gaze upwards, courtesy of a levitation charm rather than a trellis nowadays.
Thank you for telling me about your sister, Professor.
I was glad to. It is good to be reminded of all that one can accomplish when one embraces who one is. Now off you go. I am sure you've a star chart to review somewhere.
Bombarda!
Please don't do that.
This is hardly the place.
You'll see them right. You'll all see. We took the goblins' wands. Now what will they take from us? It doesn't look good, I can tell you that. Most of you have not seen an uprising before, but some of us still remember. These aren't goblins as we know them. There's something different, I tell you. What did you think would happen? Soon we'll be up to our wands in goblins. Won't have room to swing a needle. What's the Ministry doing about it, eh? Sipping their butter beers? Blah. What do you think happens when the goblins rise up? Think they'll let us keep our wands? Not likely. You just remember who warned you.
I try not to judge what others do in their own home.
Think he is bad? The coach trawls with them, like doxies on old curtains.
Really so sinister?
Wars are brewing, and Hogsmeade's the cauldron. But what do any of you care, eh? Walking by, pretending you don't hear.
You read it here first. All the latest wizarding news right here. Read all about it.
Revelio.
Ah, there you are. You
I'd seen Bakar's tower countless times. Never suspected it held the secrets it did.
Duncan owes his reputation to you. Be careful, won't you? What are you trying to do?
Has been St. Mungo's for 3 days, and she's still vomiting slugs. If you ever point your wand at your family again, mark my words, you will lose that wand.
I can't believe we found ourselves trapped in that scriptorium. Never again. Lucan Brattleby must have nearly wet himself when you won every single crossed once battle. Heard you're defending Hogsmeade against trolls. You know, there is such a thing as trying too hard. Don't get too cocky simply because you had one victory over Sallow. He never backs down from a fight.
I already have the wormwood. What about the shrivel fix? Bet you don't have the porcupine quills. No, I do! I have everything. When are you going to try it then? Haven't decided yet. I don't want to get in trouble, and I think it's only supposed to be brewed in 6th year. Can we have some? Of the elixir? Yes, of course! Are we likely to feel miserable afterwards? It's called elixir to induce euphoria? No, but I mean afterwards. Won't we feel some degree of magnified sadness after being so euphoric? I don't know if I've ever been euphoric. Is it like coming top of the class? Or better, I'd imagine. My cousin told me it feels like Christmas. Oh, how exciting. Well, I for one can't wait to tap into this wonderful joyfulness. I suspect it'll bring us closer as friends too. Very likely. Of course, I'll have to charge you.
Well, one can't argue. My father said he used to hide his schoolwork under his bed.
Oh, I remember that day. Yes, in Greenhouse 3.
Yes. You'd hidden a bucket of leaping toadstools over at the far end.
Yes, I do recall now. And Professor Garlick knocked it over and we ran out.
I got told off for that.
Well, I did say to distract her by asking how to handle flesh-eating slugs.
Well, I was mildly distracted by the shuffling of the mandrakes, I do believe. Do you recall that part too?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. The toadstools had more than proven their name and were hopping into the mandrake pots.
Tell you what, I'll forget the whole thing if you can spot me some sneezewort and scurvy grass.
You after making a befuddlement draft?
Yes, there's a third year who keeps enchanting my quill to go up my nose. Time he learned who's in charge here.
Well, it's not you. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, that's rotten to enchant your quill. How foul.
Plus, it's an old quill. Clearly has feathers of some horrible bird that had no pride. Very painful up a nostril, I can tell you.
Fair enough. I'll trade you sneezewort and scurvy grass in exchange for letting bygones be bygones. Friends?
Always. And don't be stingy on the sneezewort. I like to keep a bit of Wiggenweld potion under my bed. Not naming names, but someone's bought a few too many tricks.
I wish Hogwarts would teach us how to become animagi. They do at Wagadoo. I'd be in this.
Desperately need to improve my charms mark. I can find a housemate. I asked Ronan what he'd recommend for a billywick skin, and he laughed and said, "Try not to be seen." I didn't find that funny at all.
Still have a bump on my head from herbology last week. The cotton fell out of my ear during a mandrake lesson. I came to with my head in an upturned plant pot.
Professor Weasley said she'd help me with my switching spells after class. I think she's tired of finding partially transfigured items about the classroom.
I bet all the answers to everything are in the restricted section. I think it should be a special treat in Year 5 that you get to go into it.
I suppose in all fairness, one should be prepared for anything.
If we were simply taught antidotes to common poisons, I truly think that would be enough to get us through life.
Oh, it's you! Just the person I need.
Samantha, is everything all right?
No, it's not. It's my brother William. The one I told you about after Charms class. He's been cursed. He ignored my warning and now he's lying in St. Mungo's looking completely pathetic. He simply never listens.
I'm sorry. How exactly has he been cursed?
Oh, you won't believe it. Truly, but his feet were turned into purple beets. You can imagine his distress. And mine. I won't even go into the attention he was getting from our garden rabbits before he admitted himself to hospital.
I'm so sorry. That sounds like a trying situation.
I'm glad you understand. Everyone else just laughs at me as if it's a joke. No compassion at all.
Well, it is an unusual situation. How did your brother end up like this?
It's entirely his own fault. I told him about some research I'd done recently on our ancestor Marmaduke Dale. In particular, my discovery that Marmaduke's tomb was cursed. My brother's always making fun of my discoveries. This time, he laughed in my face. Told me I'd misinterpreted my findings. As if that were possible. And to prove his point, he went right up to the entrance of the tomb and poof! His feet transfigured into beets.
How awful. I can see why you're upset. He definitely needs some help.
Exactly. He may be a cape flapper, but he's still my brother. And no one deserves such a fate to last forever, especially as the result of a single brainless mistake. Now I worry that if the curse isn't reversed, it could become permanent.
Can't the curse be broken?
Possibly. The curse stems from a crest that was stolen from Marmaduke. If the crest were returned to its rightful place upon his sarcophagus, then I believe that William's feet may be restored. You battled trolls when they attacked Hogsmeade, escaped a dragon, and I could tell by your work in charms that you're a skilled spellcaster. Returning a crest to a sarcophagus should be almost effortless for you. So, will you help us?
Why was Marmaduke's tomb cursed?
The curse is the result of an intense sibling rivalry between Granham Dale and his younger brother Marmaduke. Marmaduke was a famed herbologist, and Granham resented the attention that he received.
Sibling rivalry. Sounds as if it might run in the family.
But I would never intentionally curse my brother, not like Granham did. When their mother died, Marmaduke was given the prized family crest. Granham felt that as the eldest child, he should have been given it. Years later, when Marmaduke died, Granham stole it and cursed the tomb so that none in the Dale family could ever pay their respects.
How do you know it's safe? I don't want my feet to turn into beets as well.
Oh, but the curse only applies to Marmaduke's descendants, as my brother so aptly demonstrated. That's why I need your help. You're unrelated to my family, so the curse wouldn't affect you.
Why is your ancestor so well known?
He discovered the properties of several magical herbs and plants. He also uncovered numerous types of flora. The wizarding world owes him a great debt. His work not only impacted the discipline of herbology, but also potion making.
I can take the crest to Marmaduke's sarcophagus for you.
Oh, thank you! Thank you so much! You'll simply go into the tomb where Marmaduke was laid to rest and place the crest on top of his sarcophagus. According to my research, the tomb's been abandoned for centuries, so it should be a fairly simple task. You'll find it just east of the hamlet of Brockborough. Thank you for your help. My family is indebted to you.
I need to find the tomb near Brockborough and place Samantha's family crest on a sarcophagus there. Looks rather dark in there. Never stopped me before. Oh, my feet didn't turn into beets. That's a good start. Revelio. Lumos. Should have known a herbologist would use Devil's Snare. A troll? You can't be serious. Well, Marmaduke certainly left behind more than plants. A sarcophagus. This must be Marmaduke. That should reverse the curse. Hopefully. Revelio. Samantha will be glad to hear that the crest has been returned. I certainly hope it reverses the curse. I'm happy to tell you that I returned the crest to Marmaduke's sarcophagus, just as you asked.
I thought as much. I received word from St. Mungo's that my brother's feet are back to normal. No more beats. Oh, I cannot thank you enough. It wasn't too much trouble, I hope.
Well, there was a troll in the tomb.
A troll? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. That's awful. No one has been in that tomb for centuries. But I can't say I'm surprised. Marmaduke seems to have been full of surprises.
Indeed he was.
Well, I suppose I should be going. I'm anxious to see my brother, who must be elated to have his feet back.
Of course, I certainly would be.
William and I are forever in your debt. Thank you again for what you did.
You'll never believe what I've learned.
What did you discover in the spellbook we found in the scriptorium?
Salazar Slytherin's spellbook was a little difficult to interpret, but fascinating. Evidently, he encouraged teaching dark magic at Hogwarts. Neither the Imperious Curse nor the Killing Curse was unforgivable during his time. He believed students should be prepared to use dark magic when necessary, not to fear it. That's why we had to use Crucio to gain access to the scriptorium. He didn't want his knowledge shared with anyone who was afraid of the power of dark magic.
It was hard to do, but casting Crucio was our only option.
And I'm glad we did it, because in the spellbook I also found something else. References to a lost relic, which, from what I can tell, grants the holder the power to reverse dark magic curses.
And you think this relic might be able to save Anne?
Precisely. I plan to search for this relic, but I don't think we should tell anyone. Especially Ominous. He wouldn't understand.
We need to tell him. He's the reason we found the book, and he deserves to know what you've learned.
You've seen how he frets about the dark arts. I promise I'll tell him when I found the relic. When I know more, I shall send an owl. And don't feel sorry for Ominous. Keeping this to ourselves for now is for his own good.
I'll decide what's for my own good.
Ominous, we were just about to get some air. Care to join?
You're a liar, Sebastian. I heard everything. You swore you'd never engage in anything to do with dark magic again.
No, I didn't. I said I understood you wanting that. I'd never swear to give up on finding a cure for Anne.
You don't know when to stop, do you?
I know when not to stop. Leave this alone, Ominous. I'll be on my way.
I am not letting this go.
Ominous, Sebastian meant well.
I appreciate you telling Sebastian not to keep this from me, but going after that relic is not a good idea. Sebastian doesn't even realize it, but he's as irresponsible and reckless now as his parents were years ago. It's why they died.
I knew his parents died, but I never heard what happened.
Mr. and Mrs. Sallow were professors. Spent nearly every waking moment in the cellar library. Noses buried in books. Anne and Sebastian were upstairs when it happened. They heard a sudden crash and ran downstairs, but it was too late. Their parents had crumpled to the floor. A defect with the lamp in the cellar caused the room to fill with an undetectable toxin. Sebastian and Anne were helpless. They had no magic yet.
What a horrible story.
It is. That's why I can't understand Sebastian's recklessness. I've practically lost Anne. I cannot lose Sebastian too. Please avoid anything to do with that spellbook.
Some references Sebastian mentioned in the book do worry me.
I'm glad you understand. I hope Sebastian pursues this no further, but if you think he might, please let me know. It would mean a lot.
Not sure what I did to deserve that.